In late 2018, Sask Wheat asked the AgriArm Group if we could devise a study to compare the quality and performance of certified seed against farm-safe seed. Farm-safe seed is the producer's own seed, which they have cleaned and use as a seed source for their own farm. Historically, the majority of wheat acres in Western Canada are seeded with farm-safe seed. Producers will typically introduce better genetics to the farm by purchasing certified seed and then using farm-safe seed for a couple of years afterwards. Sask Wheat wanted to know if this is the best practice or whether certified seed should be used more often. So, representing Parkland College and the East Central Research Foundation, Heather and I volunteered to lead the project because we had an idea about how we could work this out. I knew to make a fair comparison, we would need to generate a lot of data. It would take the involvement of all 8 AgriArm locations and 3 years. I had a pretty good idea about the trial design, but first I needed to see what others had determined on the topic. Sask Wheat was right, there really wasn't a lot of third-party data on the topic. The closest published study I could find was for winter wheat in Oklahoma. It was entitled Quality of Farmer-Saved Wheat is Variable in the Southern Great Plains. They found farm-saved seed could often perform as well as certified seed. However, the relative comparison changed between years in their study. In 2003, they observed 9 out of 19 farm-saved seedlots were inferior for grain production compared to the best certified seed source. I'm not sure I completely understand how they went around making their comparisons, but it seems to me that comparing various seedlots of farm-saved seed against the best seedlot of certified seed isn't really a fair comparison. I think various seedlots of farm-saved seed should be matched against various seedlots of certified seed, not just the best seedlot of certified seed. However, farm-saved seed in Oklahoma's study was more comparable in 2004 and 2005. In 2004, only 2 out of 27 farm-saved seed samples were inferior, and in 2005, only 4 out of 17 were inferior. In the end, the authors concluded that if farms use quality control measures similar to those required for certified seed, farm-saved wheat seed can produce forage and grain yield comparable to certified seed. I also found a 2018 report from Alberta, which assumed a 1.5 bushel per acre yield benefit from using a new variety of certified wheat seed, but they didn't cite anything for making this assumption. The report also referred to a phone survey of 800 producers in 2004, which determined approximately 70 to 80% of cereal acres in Western Canada were seeded with farm-safe seed. Producers cited reduced costs and knowing what was in the seed as reasons for the preference. This was also supported in a more recent report covering 2012 and 2014. From this table, you can see certified seed only accounted for about 20% of seeded wheat acres. However, I wouldn't be surprised if certified wheat seed acres have been increasing since this report, as I feel midge-tolerant varieties are now being grown more often, and these varieties can only legally be grown for 1 year removed from certified. However, the CSGA says stats on the number of acres of certified seed are lacking. Anyway, the recent trend has been for producers to be growing farm-safe seed for 1 to 3 years on average before buying certified seed. We wanted to know if this was a good approach or whether producers should be growing certified seed more frequently. So the first objective of our study was to compare the vigor and yield performance of various lots of farm-saved wheat seed relative to the same varieties of certified seed. But we also wanted to determine the degree to which seed treatment can improve vigor and yield potential of farm-saved and certified seedlots of wheat. Maybe we end up with a poor seedlot that performs poorly against certified when untreated, but performs relatively better when treated. To accomplish these objectives, I created a 3-factor study. One of the factors I called varietal comparison. Each site had 3 varietal comparisons of a certified seedlot against a farm-saved seedlot. Obviously, the varieties within a varietal comparison were the same variety, but each varietal comparison could be using the same or different varieties. In this example, each varietal comparison is comparing certified Brandon versus farm-safe seed Brandon. But the important thing to remember here is that all 6 entries are from different seedlots. We are not just using one seedlot of certified seed for each comparison. At another site, each varietal comparison might be using a different variety, as in this example, where comparison A is Brandon, comparison B is Cardale, and comparison C is Plentiful. Again, all different seedlots. A seedlot was never used again at any site or for any year. So at the end of the study, we had sourced 144 different seedlots, half of which were certified and the other half which were farm-safe seed. The varieties at each location were selected based on local preference. In each year, a site would secure 3 seedlots of farm-safe seed, which were between 1 and 5 years removed from certified. These seedlots would then be matched against the same variety of certified seed produced locally. The farm-safe seed was always seed that the producer had cleaned and was intending to seed that year. It wasn't seed from the back bin that he had no intention of seeding. We then took each seedlot and treated half of it. The seed treatments used varied between sites and years based on availability and local preference. Seed treatments were either Raxel Pro, Cruiser Vibrance Quattro, Cruiser Max Cereal, or Cruiser Max Vibrance. The numbers in brackets indicate the number of site years the product was used in the study. So Raxel Pro and Cruiser Vibrance Quattro were used the most often. In the end, the trial was a 3-factor factorial with 4 replicates at each site. Factor 1 compared untreated versus treated seed, Factor 2 was the 3 varietal comparisons, and Factor 3 was certified versus farm-safe seed. As the varietal comparisons were always different at each site year, no conclusions or analysis was based on this factor. It serves only as a placeholder for the trial design. I put this table together to give you a sense of the varieties used in the study. The vast majority were hard red spring varieties. Of the 72 varietal comparisons, 27 used AAC Brandon. A lot of farmers seem to be using Brandon, particularly in 2019, so it was easy to come by. 7 were Eli, 8 were Viewfield, 5 Cardale, 4 Cameron, 3 Landmark, 2 Plentiful, 2 Redberry, and Stellar, Fowler, and Connery were all 1. Swift Current used durum wheat in every year of the study. Each year they compared Transcend and Spitfire and Fortitude. Transcend was also used in one of the comparisons at Redverse in 2019. Finally, Accelerate was used in one comparison, and it is a CPSR wheat. Besides each variety is a number in brackets, which represents the number of years that seed was removed from certified. For example, 1 means the seedlot was harvested from a field planted to certified seed. It's not an indication of how old the seedlot is. You could have a 10-year-old seedlot that is only 1 year removed from certified, for example. Of course, I wouldn't expect the quality of seed which was stored in a bin for 10 years to be very good, even if it was grown from certified seed. So, out of 72 varietal comparisons, 2 were 5 years removed from certified, 3 were 4 years removed, 13 were 3 years removed, 32 were 2 years removed, and 21 were 1 year removed. I wasn't really wanting so many 1 year removed varieties. Part of the problem is that 7 of the comparisons were with midge-tolerant wheat, which legally can't be more than 1 year anyway from certified. Most of these varietal blends were present at Prince Albert. There was also one variety comparison that was unknown. However, on average, the farm-safe seed used in this study was 2.06 years removed from certified. So after we chose our seed lots, we sent samples away for quality testing. We didn't use the seed test results to select the seed lots. We just wanted to know the quality of the certified seed we were receiving and the quality of the farm-safe seed producers were already intending to seed. In addition to germination, we looked at seed vigor, which is basically how well does it germinate under cold and stressful conditions. Seed was also tested for seed-borne disease. Diseases tested are listed here. High levels of seed-borne disease will create emergence issues, and this can be alleviated somewhat with seed treatment. However, according to the 2020 Seed Lab's website, seed treatment may not provide sufficient control if infection with any one disease is higher than 8%, or if the total disease of 3 or more pathogens is over 12%. Differences in vigor between certified and farm-saved seeds so far have been insignificant based on a simple t-test for comparison. When averaged across all available sites, certified seed had a slightly higher vigor at 93.1% compared to farm-saved seed at 91.7%. Differences in total seed-borne fusarium were also small and insignificant. However, levels were numerically a little higher for the farm-saved seed. But levels on average in each year were low. In general, growing and harvest conditions from 2018 to 2020 were pretty good, so seed quality within most of Saskatchewan was excellent. Seed testing is always a good practice, but it's of particular importance if conditions at harvest have been less than ideal. It would have been an interesting comparison to make between certified and farm-saved seed during more challenging conditions for quality seed production. So, finally, here are the main effects of seed type, certified versus farm-saved seed, on wheat yield for every location and year. Each one of these values represents the average of 6 treatments, 3 varietal comparisons by 2 seed treatments. At the far right, you can see the average yield for all sites for that year. Overall, yields in 2019 and 2020 were fairly similar, around 65 bushels per acre. During the widespread drought of 2021, average yield dropped to about 48 bushels per acre. Yields were particularly low at Scott and Swift Current in 2021. You can see almost all of these comparisons between yield of certified and farm-saved seed are not statistically different. Only Redvers in 2021 found the yield of certified to be significantly higher. When we average all the data from across all sites and years, we end up with an average of 60.6 bushels per acre for certified and 60.1 bushels per acre for farm-saved seed. Overall, there really isn't a difference in yield between certified and farm-saved seed. Harder to get two numbers closer together. But what about the interactions? We need to do our due diligence here and determine if there were ever any varietal comparisons where there was a difference. Well, there were a few, and we'll try to cover them quickly. At Scott in 2019, certified seed yielded more than one of the 3 varietal comparisons when averaged over seed treatment. This is quite a difference, so I wondered how these seed lots tested. While the farm-saved seed did have lower vigor, it was still 92%. So the seed test wouldn't have predicted such a big difference. Another interaction at Indian Head in 2019 found farm-saved seed yielded the most for one of the varietal comparisons. Again, this is a large yield difference, but the seed test differences wouldn't really have predicted this either. At Redvers in 2021, where we saw a significant main effect, it would appear based on a significant interaction that certified seed was only higher yielding for one of the varietal comparisons averaged over seed treatment. At Outlook in 2021, certified seed was higher yielding, but only for treated seed averaged over varietal comparison. So out of 144 comparisons between certified and farm-saved seed, the statistics indicated that 7 comparisons found higher yields with certified seed, with 1 comparison indicating farm-saved seed yielded more. But no difference could be detected between the remaining 136 comparisons. So at the end of the day, with an average yield of 60.6 bushels per acre for certified and 60.1 bushels for farm-saved seed, there were only a few instances to suggest better performance with the certified seed. But what about grain protein? Here is the same table again, only this time we're looking at the main effects of seed type on grain protein. All but 3 sites were insignificant. There is one instance at Outlook in 2019 where certified seed produced more protein than farm-saved seed, and 2 instances in 2020 at Indian Head and Scott where farm-saved seed was higher in protein. but we'll have to check the interactions to really see what's going on here first. Before we do that, have a look at the grain protein levels between certified and farm-saved seed. They are virtually identical, but we do need to consider the interactions. I'll save you from pointing out every interaction this time. I'll just summarize them. So out of 144 comparisons, 8 found higher protein with certified seed, 8 found higher protein with farm-saved seed, and a difference could not be detected with the remaining comparisons. So again, not a lot of evidence to suggest either seed type generally has higher protein. So conclusions. The results suggest that most farmers will not suffer a wheat yield or grain protein penalty from using farm-saved seed that is between 1 and 3 years old. Using farm-saved seed for a few years until you want to introduce better genetics to the farm is a sound approach. However, this study was conducted during good seed growing years. During bad seed growing years, producers will need to take the same care as seed growers to ensure seed quality. Test seed lots for vigor and seed-borne disease. While these results suggest there's nothing wrong with using farm-saved seed if you want to grow the same variety for a couple of years, the results do not suggest that you shouldn't be purchasing certified seed. Certified seed has value. It provides seed that is true to type. It supports a breeding program that allows for introduction of better genetics, which we're going to need to keep us globally competitive. Finally, let's look at treated versus untreated seed. Again, I'll save you from pointing out every interaction and cut to the chase. Averaged over 144 comparisons, untreated wheat yielded 60.5 bushels per acre, and treated wheat yielded 60.1 bushels per acre. This doesn't particularly surprise me, as none of the last 3 years were particularly conducive to root rot disease. When we look at the interactions, there were 18 comparisons where treated seed had significantly higher yield. In contrast, the statistics determined there were 28 comparisons where untreated seed was higher yielding. This suggests there might have been some seed phytotoxicity occurring, which is only detectable in the absence of seed diseases. The way in which we apply seed treatment to small batches of seed using a cement mixer may also be suspect. While we may make every effort to obtain uniform seed treatment coverage, it is not likely as good as what can be accomplished with a G40 seed treater, for example. Non-uniform coverage may be causing some seed phytotoxicity issues. Based on 138 comparisons, there really wasn't a grain protein difference between untreated and treated wheat seed. When looking at the interactions, there were 6 comparisons which found higher protein with treated seed, but there were 15 comparisons that found higher protein with untreated seed, and 117 comparisons which could not detect a difference. So, conclusions. Seed treatment was not a benefit during the environmental conditions of our trial. However, it should be viewed as insurance, as it's difficult to predict environmental conditions, and care should be taken to apply the product as evenly as possible. So that's it. Seed quality for certified and farm-saved seed was good during the 3 years of this study, and seedling disease pressure was quite low. So we didn't see a lot of differences. Perhaps we may have seen a different result under more challenging conditions.